Rizal Memorial Tennis Center undergoes testing for inaugural Philippine Women's Open. Manila, Philippines. Philippine sports officials will begin operational testing of the newly renovated courts at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center on Monday, just 2 weeks ahead of the historic Philippine Women's Open, PWO. Over the next 3 days, the Philippines' top female players will face off for national ranking points and a coveted wild-card entry into the country's maiden WTA 125 event. The matches will not only test the facilities of the tennis center but also serve as a qualifying event for local players aiming to compete in the Philippine Women's Open, said Diane Castillo, Philippine Tennis Association, PHILTA, board member and PWO co-tournament director. The Philippines' top 2 players, Alex Ila and rising star Teniel Mides of Mlang, Cotabato, have already been granted wildcards and will not compete in the playoffs. However, Castillo noted that Ila's participation remains dependent on her performance at the Australian Open. The PWO main draw coincides with the second week of the Happy Slam in Melbourne. A primary goal of this week's matches is to stress test the venue's recent upgrades. We need to evaluate the ball bounce and traction on the newly resurfaced hard courts under competitive conditions, Castillo explained. This testing phase allows us to make any final technical adjustments to the surface to meet the international standards required for a WTA 125 event. 3 matches are scheduled for Monday. Number 2 seed and 2025 SEA Games bronze medalist Steffi Aludo faces Justine Hanna Maneja, while Nina Angeline Alcala takes on Elizabeth Abarque. In the third match, Kay and Emina tackles Joanna Pena. Top seed Tiffany Nokos drew an opening round bye and will face the winner of the Emina Pena match in the semifinals. Meanwhile, Castillo expressed gratitude to the Philippine Sports Commission, PSC, for their swift action on the Rizal Memorial renovations and their technical support. At least 24 players from 19 different countries have signed up for the PWO. The entry list features Croatian Olympic silver medalist Dana Vekic, who may face a rematch after her recent 3-set thriller against Ila in Auckland. Also competing are China's Wang Xinyu, who defeated Ila in the Auckland quarterfinals, and German veteran Tatiana Maria, a former Wimbledon semifinalist. Game, Set, Dream. Rizal Memorial Tennis Center undergoes testing for the inaugural Philippine Women's Open. In the heart of Manila's historic Rizal Memorial Sports Complex, a sanctuary of Filipino sporting heritage, something remarkable is unfolding. Long before the first official serve is struck in the inaugural Philippine Women's Open, the tennis courts are being put through their paces in a dance of preparation, expectation, and meticulous testing that echoes the heartbeat of the nation's tennis aspirations. Under an early January sky, the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center, an iconic venue nestled within the larger sports complex, stands transformed. Its concrete bones have been refined, the hard courts resurfaced and polished, the lines crisp and immaculate. The goal is no small one: to ensure these courts meet the exacting standards of the Women's Tennis Association, WTO. 125 event set for January 26 to 31, 2026, the very first WTA-level professional women's tournament hosted in the Philippines. This testing phase is about more than lines and bounce. It's a symbolic passing of a threshold, a nation preparing to step onto a global stage that for so long seemed just beyond reach. The court as a canvas. To the casual observer, a tennis court is a simple thing: chalked lines converging on a tapestry of uniform green or blue. But to those who know the sport, a court is a canvas, a crucible where technique and temperament are put to the test. And as January's light crests over Manila, the courts of Rizal Memorial gleam like newly minted medals. This week, as part of the meticulous operational testing, local players are engaging in matches that serve both competitive and evaluative purposes. Over a span of 3 days, the Philippines' talented female players, from seasoned national contenders to up-and-coming stars, step onto these winter-fresh surfaces to test every facet of play. Here, the ball's flight becomes a study in physics. Will it grip the surface, bounce true, and return with the predictability expected at international competition? Will the hard court's newly adjusted traction enhance play without risking injury? These are not frivolous questions but essential calibrations necessary before the world's eyes focus on Manila. On this testing stage, every serve is a practical experiment, every volley, a check in the margin of error. Players on the forefront of the test. Interestingly, this rigorous testing overlaps with the national qualifiers, giving local hopefuls a double incentive, stress testing the venue and competing for coveted wild-card entries into a tournament that could shape their careers. Tennis has always had its poetry, the clash of individuality under pressure. These young athletes understand that beyond the physical contest, they are ambassadors of their potential. And while the Philippines' top two players, including Alexandra Alex Ila, a rising global star, have already been granted wild cards, the qualifiers are producing narratives of their own. Ila, fresh off a breakthrough season and a new career-best ranking inside the WTA Top 50, represents both hope and inspiration. Her wild card entry has been confirmed, though whether she will play depends on how deep a run she makes at the Australian Open, which runs concurrently with the Philippine Women's Open. Regardless of her availability, the testing matches are filled with echoes of what could be young players forging new paths, using Rizal Memorial's renovated courts not just as a playing field but as a proving ground. Beyond the lines, renovation as renaissance. The physical transformation of the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center has been a major endeavor. Supported by the Philippine Sports Commission, PSC, the Philippine Tennis Association, PhilTA, and governmental partners, the venue has been refurbished to meet WTA standards, from court surfaces to seating and spectator amenities. For the city of Manila, this is more than hosting an event. It is part of a broader cultural revitalization, reinvigorating a sports complex that has long been central to the nation's athletic identity. Cricket, football, track events, and basketball are part of the complex's diverse history. Now tennis steps forward as a centerpiece of international ambition. Indeed, the decision to resurrect and beautify this beloved facility is a metaphor for the nation's own evolving sporting narrative. The old ways, informal, grassroots, yearning, are being reshaped with precision, investment, and foresight. And just as the court's surface must endure the stress of competition, so too must the hopes of a generation prepared to do battle on it. A global roster, a local heartbeat. Though it is the first of its kind in the Philippines, the Philippine Women's Open already commands global respect. Tournament officials anticipate a strong international field, including top professionals such as Donna Vekic, the Paris Olympic silver medalist from Croatia, and German veteran Tatjana Maria, among others.